Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
There are 12 right now. I'll go to Job Hubs. Also, I can see Recruiting Hub. Let's first look about Job Hubs. Let's consider. We can define the announcements which will come on the Job Hub navigation item. Overrides. For example, we want to search for jobs or my application or job alerts, reference or overview. These are the possible items. We can search on Job Hubs. We can select any one of it and we can put another label. Currently, there are no label, but we can have our own customized label, like browse job will not appear. Maybe we want something else, like search for my best job, something like this. That will appear here. And I'll search for my applications. This is a person's best pick, right, for employees. Persons will be able to see all of their applications. Like maybe they have created application for somebody else, or maybe they have put in reference. All that data will be visible at one particular page. Then my job alerts. Then suggested links. Based on security group or condition rule, we can have these kinds of information with any external link, any task for reports, or any dashboard related information. We have a lot of dashboards in the system, standard and custom. Let's see. Recruiting talent search. Dashboards over here are like, firstly, to maintain them in the system. And I could see that these are custom ones. An external link would be any link of, maybe over here I could see these additional name. Like for change or for community, we can have a link. If I select community, what it will do, it will include a link. If I click on this community note, it will redirect me to the community page. If I select change job or add additional job, it will take me to a link and they will allow me to add additional jobs. These things could be done. Then content. This is the default section cards. Recently added job tasks, empty job posting, my job application, empty job application state. We can customize it also. And I think we have worked it in the work section. Let me see if I need to create out. We have worked it delivered once. And these are the cards. Also like how the information would be displayed in a summarized format. Let me now see existing job forms. One more important thing we can include here in tasks and reports is the Find Job Custom Report. We could include here the Find Job. We could see the custom one also. We could see the Workday delivered ones. We can include. It's like another way of creating a dashboard, I would say. But over here, we can add security group condition rules. Or we can rename these items to override. Whereas in dashboard, we can simply add tasks to the codes for security groups along with work lists. And those particular dashboards are like visible on menu section over here. Whereas job hubs, we just need to click here and search for it. It's a report. Recent applications. Then browse job. We have seen, right? We can add browse job section label override. They have also included the custom job find job report here. Let me see if I can add job hub over here. I could add it over here. I'll go to that. That will also take me to the same page form. We have recently added jobs. This goes on to another section with our 10 recent applications. Then browse jobs. Job alerts my applications. This looks like an internal career side, or we can also add external career side because it allows us option to add the application as well. Here, it would be accessible by the current employee. Definitely, it's internal. And my application would be for that particular employee who has clicked on this particular job. Whatever application maybe are on him, like he is moving to some other department. He has created his own application, or he has created application for some of the external candidate, or he has put in some reference to all those applications. This is for all the employee. This could be, I think it's personal person specific. I think it's personalized for. Here I could see the recent applications. If I click on View All Applications, these are the ones. And these are the hiring manager. These are the recruiters and these are the tasks. I can withdraw the application. I can view the application. I think just like an internal career site for the active employee, and then they can personalize, they can save their application. They were also able to look at other applications existing in that hub. It's like an internal existing employee's candidate who's similar to that. And the requirement I was telling you, they were saying that employee has to go to Job Hub and look for the position over there. How about they to create an email notification on just a notification in the Workday inbox? They can automatically get this alert. I think If we have to configure it. Inga, when you go to maintain hub, there was two options, view and configure. I think that we can configure how to automatically get the notification for new jobs. For that, we have to come here. We can see the job alert. These are the job alerts right now. And we could have the frequency. This is how we are going to come here. And whatever is the job alert template move, we have it. I could see the job in it. I'll create this email template and name it. I could define the static diamond on content. Everything will begin. Then we have create message template. Here also we can define the notification type as job alerts. Job alerts for internal candidates can have. And we can have this, of course. Oh, configure template and create message is a similar thing or a little different. Configure. There was no task when I typed in configure. It was create only. Some things like nothing was coming from content. We cannot maintain like multiple job hubs. There's only one. And you can define the nonsense navigation item. Navigation item will be these. What can we come to? Maybe Lupin doesn't have the access properly to see all the job alerts related to nodes. Like which will gather all job openings and provide a similar kind of job. Maybe that's the reason. But you can look into your tenant and see how this configured for you. The email template you just created, how it will populate on our hub. It's not coming right there. As I said, we have to select here the job alerts. And then it would be used as a job alert email. And the message template, we were also able to see job alerts for internal canopies, but here it is only giving us job alerts. But I think it would be another way of attaching. I think because we can have multiple email templates in the tenant right. That's what I was asking. How? And this email is for all the employee because it looks like it's a person specific, any employee, how all the employee will get email notification or the message notification. Generally the admins or the implementers, they configure the job hubs. Then they finalize the definition or links or everything. And it would be then applicable to all the employees when they log in into their job hubs. But the data will differ as per the job alerts they have created or based on the security book they are part of. Accordingly, the tasks that have notes, external links, everything will pop up, but we do only can invite this configuration. At once, but I need to check that how we are attaching the email templates because we could have multiple email templates. Because if we configure something and us log in as a login, then we can check did we receive any email or notification. Generally in client stand, we don't give all employees security group access to the domains for creating or maintaining the job. It is only given to admin. That's why the employees won't be able to see this task, configure hub by admin. They will only be able to view it. I think they should be somewhere over here. The option when I'm selecting the it should come somewhere where we can attach just a second. Let me search. I need to search on it a little bit more, but some way over here I feel that it should be added. This another template which I would like to discuss. There are certain items over here. We have certain Workday default sections, and we saw on our career site from here on we were opening our job application that we saw these details being asked. Certifications, education, languages, resume passing skills, website and work experience. All those data we were able to gather through this particular job application network. We don't attach the job application template anywhere on our external career site, but Workday it fetches the data from this template as well. This is how they have done the code that will be mapped to this job application template. Here we can have the fields. Here we can have the fields and we can make it hidden, required for all or for selected security works. Like, for some we can make it asterisk, for some we can hide it. That is how this could be done. This is the default job application template. If I go back, we can also have, based on condition rules, a customized job application template. For example, if you're doing hiring for management level 1 or 2, we might need some other type of template. And if we are hiring for particular location, maybe we want a different template. If I click on any one of it again, it will have the same view. And if I click on it, then I could see these default sections which I cannot edit. I can just override it with the label, and they are the same ones. Only thing they have put certain criteria of how it would be visible. If I go here they're talking about the section. Then in that section, they will have to ask all these things. Like, if a person selects certification details, then he has to give all these field details. Then we can make it hidden for all or required for all, like this. And the task to create is a create job application template. No, it is like maintain job application. Yes. After that, create job application template. But you can get it from here also. Then we create it and then we have added here. When we post an external and our website, the Workday map it from here. We are attached to the website from this particular task. After creating, we have to put it here. Add it here. We have to maintain here the template as well. You can move down like we saw sidebar templates. For group page and for candidate overcome. Then we saw job posting template. Then there was find job, custom report added. Then there was a message and email template added. And now this job application template. You can just note it down, all these that you don't get confused. Only this is not added on external careers and rest of all of them were added. I don't understand that. We have to add the job W and external career side, right? I'm saying that this particular job application template, we have not included this template anywhere on our external career side. But the rest of what I mentioned, All of them were added in the external career side. Those were the sidebar templates, job posting templates, then message email templates, and the find job custom report. All those were added for it. Now coming to the BP part. The first important BP is the job requisition BP. And it gets triggered when we click from the submit task of create job requisition. I'll just open any random job, rep, BP, and let's see which all steps are there. In job rig BP, we can have all these possible steps. We can assign rows for the job rig. Then we can check the budget. Then any questionnaires for job rig. We were also able to add questionnaires. Primary, it's again in the job rig task. Otherwise, we can also have this particular step. And also, I think we have one step type called configure. Question 1. I'll see that later. Then we can create positions. Then we can post your, then we can put this pre-position is very important to include. If we have a position management supervisor attached to our job rep, and if we have selected the option of create position, if you remember on the task, then it is very important. Then post job. Post job is like very important and it should be majorly as the last step. This always included in the job. And we can request requisition compensation. Like if you want to look at again, either the manager would see the recruiter. We can do that. Then we can review the job rate which we have created. We can also review the job application template. We can review this job application template which we just saw before posting our job on the external barrier side. These are the possible steps. No need of remembering anything. But these are the possible ones. Just remember, post job is very important. But if you're not going for any interview, if you would have gone, then you should remember 2-3 steps for sure. Then we have this complete questionnaire step. What it does, it like triggers a questionnaire step. Like we definitely have to attach a questionnaire over here and it will go to somebody, like either it will go to manager or it goes to find it as self. You could see a task that he has to fill in a questionnaire. This is also a very important type in the group. If I remove it, click on. Now we can see this button, Configure Questionnaire. It means that we have included this template. We have not attached any questionnaire. We need to click on this. We need to attach the questionnaire. The task for creating questionnaire is very simple. Question is simply collection of questions. I could create new or edit existing one. I could maintain questions if I click on this one. I would like to introduce a very important field here. Whenever we are creating questionnaires, we should decide over here to which all business processes in the recruitment process, but anyway in the system these questionnaires would be valid for. Like if we are selecting here background check, it means this questionnaire would only be included as a step in the background check business process. It won't be visible in any questionnaire related step in interview, screen, or assessment. This is what it means that if you want to restrict the questionnaire to a particular business process, we have to do this. And if I don't select anything over here, then it is not allowed on any BP. We have to make it like specifically over here for which all BPs it would be used. It's not mandatory, but still we have to select a stage where we introduce the questionnaire right. Let's check if I'm not included anything here, will it populate in my the step or not? Wait, let me maintain question 1, 2. I could either create a questionnaire, create questions. If I click here, but this is how it looks like. I could have question name, question body, and what is that type of this? These are work to deliver types. If I select a choice, and I also need to get the possible answers, and then I also can define this course for that. And we can add question that's also like that's a basically for associating one business object to another. Maybe this question that could be used in some reporting field, something like this. If I click here, this question would be used in bold also. We have questionnaires over there. It could be attached. Then for new hire purpose, it could be like used, it could be associated. I would say these are the possible questions available in the system. Then I could preview questionnaire and export. Now let me see if I could do. I think I need to open this again. I cannot see my test. We can question it still because I have not allowed it for this particular beep. I have to make sure that I'm allowing it even though it's not as soon. Definitely. It's like a bug and would be looking into this. It's a very important configuration from interview point of view, of course, and they could ask you otherwise from implementation point of view. Also very important. These are the important job requisition steps. Post job should be there. Now post job is a sub-process. You know what business process configuration report. The business process option, which tell you which sub-process is allowed. You know about it, right? Before configuring any DP, we should look into it. It will tell us if the particular action step is a sub-process or not, and then we have to maintain that also. We should do one. This questionnaire step is included in BP job rec, and then it would. Whenever we post any job rec, it will automatically populate in our job replication business process. No, it will not trigger in the job application process. I just wanted to show you this is a type of step. It does not it should always be there in the job. It is majorly included in the job application stages processes. But the job rep has nothing to do with job application. The main purpose of job rep is to post the job. Make it visible somewhere or internally, like looking to the compensation or the job application template. Like before posting it, we would want to see the details which we are going to ask, like the things which we saw on our job application template, if you remember. We are talking about template. We're not talking about the job application business process. That is different. We'll see that. It's the biggest one for recruitment. That is the big one. It has a lot of sub-stages of background check, assessment, review. For post-job, we majorly include only one step of reviewing the post-job, and it is done by manager only. And we don't have a security group called hiring manager. The manager over here, he is by default called the hiring manager also. We can create a role-based security issue, but generally hiring managers like the normal manager. Now let's look into the job application weekly. I have two questions. Yes, definitely. Let's discuss something else in the meanwhile. I would also like to show you one more thing. You know about Drive, right? Drive and Workday. Yes, I never use it, but I see it in my main page. Over here also, we have one section of templates. We don't have anything, but let's see what we can create. Not work, not this one. Not the folder. Over here, we should also see an option to create notification templates. In notification templates, we can add images as well. It's more user-friendly. Let me check. Apparently, these are the security groups allowed. And this is the major domain for that. Apparently, no security group has the answers. That's why we are not able to see. Otherwise, we could have simply got plus sign over here to create template. Some application and actions may not be available. It's clearly written here as well. It is taking me to community. I don't know the weather, but we could. Simply, you can look into your parent org if there's anything else. I'm trying to see how the UI will look like. It's a good feature to know about from recruitment perspective. If you don't have security, then we can click on now, go to the domain and then add a security group there. We have added two. That was the biggest one where we need to add, but maybe some. There's some training constraint also. That's why we are getting this message also here. Otherwise, we could have just got a plus sign here and it would have navigated us to the create notification. And then we create a tab of notification here. Most of the time, I get the tickets, which really I don't have too much actual experience of working. They ask me to access to a report like run a report. I usually go in the report and share and authorize user and the username in there. But sometimes it's still complained that they are still not accessing the report. And manager told me to run the report. I don't understand what's the report. What I understand, is it standard one or custom? A custom report. Custom record. If it's not accessible, then you need to check the data source of the business object where if he's part of. Let me just talk about my local job. This happened for me during my learning module also. If I've shared it with the employees still, they were not able to see. Then I got to know that the business object or the data source, they don't have the required access to include those security things. This is the data source. If I click here, these are the security groups who have the access to this. Only people who are part of the security group would be able to see the boards who have data source. This, and definitely they should be included as the authorized user. And these are the possible data sources filters they have access to. We have to look into this as well. If I click on data source filters doesn't have security groups as such, but they are part of a data source, and those data source should have the security. You need to check the security groups over here. And run the report is mean same thing like adding as a user. No. Running is like. The user asked me to run the report for her. I don't understand. Custom report and run it. That's it. How to run it for the user, like he wanted me to run it for her. I can proxy as a user. Sense only. I cannot proxy in the production. How to run a report for somebody else in production. In production, I think we have batches where the reports get from, and for batches I think security team is responsible, but not at runtime. Like those feature will be reflected in production. Could you tell me which specific report he's talking about? It was a custom report. My colleague created it, and she went on leave and she was not in office. She said she said that somebody need access, go get them access. I went to the report. I went to the share. I asked at the author's username the person for that report related to. Can you tell me it was about the gender? It was about the disability and veteran status of the employee. Somebody was looking at age. R was looking for the employee. They have to do a custom report for that. She created the customer report and asked me to the user access. I had the user access, but then she said she cannot access or run the report for her. I was able to run a sandbox. I don't know. Run the report and they want to see it in the production only, or do you want to provide them with the Excel extract, Excel of that output of the report? No, they said run the report. Excel easy. I know I can click on the workbook or Excel access and then email it to them. But sometimes they want to go in the report and they have to apply the filter to narrow down the data by location or even if you're running it. Still, if they don't have the access, they won't be able to see the run format. And if they have the access, they can run it on their own. Definitely check the data source and the business object on which the report was created. Business object. We have to have a script for business object as well, like data source. I know. When we are creating a report, we first have to enter the business object. If we enter the business object and if we start creating, then we cannot edit the business object. We can then only edit the data source. You need to look into the data source mainly because you cannot edit the business object. And if you're not able to see, of course, that security group in the data source, just check in that business object also. And if over there also it's not present, then you have to tell them that your security group was not present in the business object. You will not be able to access it. The business object also have a security group. I never look into that. This is the primary business, also for the business object. These are the full names. Description related business object categories. Then these are the related business object. Like using this main primary business object, we can use these fields also. These are the business objects. These are the data sources which could be added. And these are the reports, standard reports and the customer group where all this business object has been added. Let me just see where I could file the security. Let me think while you're feeling. In the fields also, I couldn't see it for business object, but I remember we could see security groups over here as well. But for the fields also, I remember that we could have the indexing information. Authorized user default area. I won't be able to edit it for sure. Report field new security groups. Correctly, this field is visible to all the users. That is fine. But talking about this, I thought business object also have it. I need to check it, but for fields we could see, for data sources we could see. Just check over there. The data sources and which all fields are also included on your record. But since you cannot access the report itself, I think you need to check the data source first because fields are like a person is not able to see a particular column in the report. That is due to the field restriction, but you need to check the data source. Thank you. And these business objects know. We have implementation suites. Over there we have worked with defined packages where we have these business objects and to whom it is visible. For implementers, it is like almost all the business objects are visible, but I'll check like where I could see the security for business option. Thank you. What is the next one? Next is intersection security group. I haven't created one. Some recruiter. These are global companies. They want to give access to recruiter to specific region and hide the region from them. They want me to create an intersection security group where they include primary recruiter as our include in the security and then have our exclusion criteria to exclude certain groups. I was just a little confused about those. I think create security group, then you will see it. This one, yes. The other one is very easy role based. I can easily create, but this one is a little complicated. What's the difference between aggregation and intersection security group? Not sure, but intersecting is they have one. Certain things are similar, and where they intersect and certain things are different in both groups. We can exclude some and include some. Let's suppose if I'm including manager here and I'm including recruiters here. What it means, like which all security groups are. You can see the users at the end would be intersected. It will include all the managers, all the users who are managers, but it will exclude all the users in the manager security group who are also the recruiter. It's like manager, the biggest one. And in that some of them are recruiters, also for some supervisor. They will remove those particular subset of recruiters and they will include all the managers. Anybody who want to like on the right side, exclusion constraint context. We have like which security groups to include. We want to include the primary recruiter here. If you're not selecting any security group to exclude, we can also exclude certain positions in the organization. We can define the positions here. And whether it applies to current org or applies to current org and subordinate or none of the above. From where these organizations are getting into picture. It is for each specific organization, Workday's job. Like for example, we have the topmost one. The topmost one will have all the managers, but we would want to exclude certain positions and also would be holding those positions. Those people will also be excluded from giving the access or from being part of this intersection security group. We can also include organization like this. Supervisor organization should be excluded. We could see over here all of these organizations as well. This is not unrest. All of them are organizations. If I add an exclusion criteria, then I cannot add the security group to exclude on the left side. If you try to put something in the exclude group on the other side, the second one I have is I will go to the manager and it will exclude all the managers who are like the manager of these organizations. This is how it is going to fit. And now what you're saying? If you select somebody next to him criteria and then you go to the other side where the intersection criteria, the opposite side of you. Here, if I want to add something here, like security group to exclude, if I add something, I will not be able to add anything here. If you pick something in and they're saying not both. This is over here over service the manager. All those users will be included, but except the manager of this organization. What is the purpose of this? This is also intersection, means like you have to include some in your text. Some testing criteria. That's the criteria that we have to include a subset of the whole group. Like that we have to exclude a set of the whole group. And for the aggregation we can aggregate, we can combine two security groups. Aggregate would be like it would be. Let me see this. Security groups to include. I think we can include multiple ones over here. We can aggregate multiple to all the users who are managers or recruiters would be part of this aggregation. Also what they provide just to exclude as well. Also, but only one we can exclude. But in including, we can have multiple options. Whereas in intersection, we could have only one for each of these fields. That's even better. This is even better than that. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.